Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fikri bin Yusuf. Alright, today I will present about the chapter 2, the fundamental MARCOM decisions. Right, so let's introduce my pairing members. Is Muhammad DANIALFITRI bin Muhammad Naha. So, we go to the overview of the MARCOM decision-making process. So, the overview of MARCOM decision-making process is the fundamental decisions. Influence implementations decision regarding the mixture of communication elements and the determination of message, media, and momentum. So the expected outcome are to enhance brand's equity and affecting behavior. Following that, a program assessment will be carried out to measure the outcome, gather feedback, and adopt remedial action. So fundamental MARCOM decision has four fundamental. Number one is targeting, number two is positioning, number three is budgeting, and lastly is setting objective. So we go to the targeting. Targeting is a message you need to deliver more accurately and precisely and prevent wasted coverage to people falling outside the intended audience. So we have 5 criteria for effective segmentation or targeting. Number one is measurable. Measurable is a degree in which useful information exists on the segment. Number two is substantial. Substantial is segment is large enough. And number three, accessible. Accessible is firm can focus their marketing effort. And number four is differentiable. Differentiable is segment is distinguishable and will respond differently to changes in marketing mix. And last but not least is actionable. Actionable is program can be formulated and implemented. So target market strategies have four target market four target, which is number one is undifferentiated. Undifferentiated is overall marketing mix is applied to the mass market. Number two is differentiated. Differentiated is separate marketing mix is applied to separate segment. Number three is concentrated. Concentrated is one overall marketing mix is applied to a separate segment. So we go to the positioning. Positioning is a brand position represent the key features, benefit, or image that is stand for in consumer minds. So let's a marketer need to decide that one of the branding position statement, which is the central idea that encapsulate a brand's meaning and distinctiveness as compared to the competitive brand. So the clear positioning statement will able to convey the real meaning and consistent in all form of a MARCOM message. So a good positioning statement must adhere the two requirements, which is number one, should reflect a brand competitive advantages. Number two, should motivate consumer to action. So benefit of positioning have a three functional, benefit, which is number one is functional. Functional is you need to provide a solution of the current consumer problem. For example, the client convenient, the client safety, the client healthy, and the client comfortable areas. So number two is symbolic. Symbolic is associated with brand ownership with desired group role or image. For example, the accessories, the jewelries, and the memberships. And lastly, experiential. Experiential is associated with product to provide great feelings of pleasure that relates with cognitive stimulations. For example, that they feel important and feel elegant or feel sophisticated or feel happier. So positioning, attribute of positioning is classified on two. Number one is non-product related, and second one is product related. So non-product related as divided by two, usage and usage imagery, and product related classified by one only, just this one only, color, size, design, and features. So we go to the setting objective. Setting objective is a communication, decision, and activities are based on what are the objectiveness that the company wants to accomplish. So MARCOM objectives, general outcome that the various MARCOM elements try to achieve individually and collectively. So the three reasons why objective must establish decision prior decision are made. The first one is achieving management consensus. So achieving a management consensus is agreed by the top management and in line with department or company objective. The second one is guiding subsequent MARCOM decision that need to relate with message, media, and budget. And last one, providing standard so that the result can be measured. So here are the hierarchy of MARCOM effect. On the top one is brand loyalty. So brand loyalty is classified by two. Number one is belief reinforcement and attitude reinforcement, and below of the belief reinforcement and attitude reinforcement is belief and attitude. So and straight away go to the trial, expectation, and awareness, and lastly unawareness. So setting objectives. Setting objectives is need to know of the setting objectives. Number one is from unawareness or awareness. So unawareness to awareness is audience are commonly unaware of a new product. Hence, the objective is to create awareness. Okay. So number two is creating an expectation. The creating expectation is you need to highlight the advantage or benefit of the product through positioning. And so number three is encourage trial purchase. Encourage trial purchase is promotion, sales promotion and advertising usually work together to encourage people through the position, encourage people to try the product and the mass advertisement along with a coupon or free sample, for example. So forming belief and attitude. Forming belief and attitude is after trial the product, consumer will form the belief and attitude towards the product based on what they have experienced. So after you give the trial of the product, so the consumer or the customer believe the attitude toward the product based on what they have experienced. All right. So the positive experience will make them feel more confident about your product. So the fourth one, reinforcing belief and attitude. It's if firm obtain great feedback from the audience, firms should stick to their particular activity and keep on deliver that they have a promise. And last but not least, accomplishing brand loyalty. As long as a brand continues to satisfy the audience and market, the consumer will keep on repeat purchase, which that makes them become a brand loyalty. So the 6 point of setting objective that you need to apply on your businesses. So next one, the integrated information response model. The integrated response model is classified by two sources: is advertising and direct product user experience, informing their purchase intentions and attitude towards a product and brand. So information acceptance range between a low and high level. Low is able to aware, recognize the product, and high able to recognize difference and benefit of the product. So next, the three pattern under integrated information response model. So the three integrated of response model is pattern. One is cognition, go to effect, and cognition. So the meaning is also known as a high and involvement pattern. So the pattern 2 is a minimal cognition, trial, effect, or commitment. And the meaning is must to try out the product first, then only consumer can decide whether to commit to it or not. So the pattern 3 is cognition, trial, and trial is consumer love to switch one brand after another commitment is not assured. So requirement for objective setting. So this is the requirement of the objective setting that you need to apply on your businesses. Is number one is include a precise statement of who, what, and when. So who is your customer, and what they need and when they want. All right. So the second one is be quantitative and measurable. You need to measure your business model, your business classification, and the third one, specify amount of change. And then you need to specify the amount of your cost of businesses. And the third one is be realistic. So whatever you put in your target you must be realistic and be internally consistent. You need to be consistent on your businesses. And lastly, you need to be clear in your writing. All right. So next is budgeting. Budgeting is a company that used to different budgeting procedure in allocating funds to marketing communication. So it is the most crucial area because overspend, it might be a waste. Not spending much might lead to a failure. So which this always put a brand manager into a dilemma and must set the perfect budgeting in making sure firm able to maximize profit. So there are three common methods that you need to know in budgeting: is top-down budgeting, bottom-up budgeting, and bottom-up and top-down budgeting. So top-down budgeting that businesses you need to know is senior management. You need to decide in senior management level. You need to decide how much to allocate the cost of your business. So, and the second one, bottom-up budgeting, is sub-unit, which means each department you need to know how much is needed, the cost needed. And the last one, the senior management and sub-unit, you need to merge and to clear a decision between both. So budgeting theory that you need to remember is continue to invest in advertising as long as the marginal revenue from that investment exceed the marginal cost, which means the sales to advertising response function, the relation between money invested in advertising and the response of the investment in terms of revenue generated. Alright, so budgeting in practice or option of budgeting types or types of budgeting has classified by four points. It's number one, a percentage of sales method, and number two, the objective and task budgeting method. Number three is competitive parity method, and lastly, affordability method. So for the percentage of sales, budgeting is a company set a brand advertisement budget by simply establishing the budget as a fixed percentage of past or anticipated sales volume. So there are advantages and disadvantages that you need to know. Is for the advantages is finance manager are satisfied that the promotional expenses have a close relationship to sales, right? And the method is considered affordable, and the priority with competitors is need to maintain. So for these disadvantages is a method indicate that sales volume causes promotion instead. Promotion costs sales volume. And number two is a sales and anticipated to increase the advertising budget also increase and vice versa. So step two involve in a percentage of sales budgeting, which is number one is establish specific marketing objective that need to be accomplished. Number two is assesses the communication function that must be performed to accomplish marketing objective. Number three is determine advertising role in the total communication mix in performing the function established in step 2. And number four is establish specific advertising goal in terms of the level of the measurable communication response required to achieve marketing objective. And number 5, establish the budget based on the estimates of the expenditures required to accomplish the advertisement goal. Next, for the implementation decision, number 1 is missing element. Missing element is fundamental issue confronting all companies is deciding exactly how to allocate resources among the various marketing communication tools. Number 2 is creating message. Creating message is a decision for creation of a message in the form of advertisement, publicity release, promotions, package design, social media, and any other form of MARCOM message. Number 3 is selecting media. Selecting media that all marketing communication message require an instrument or medium for transmission. Although the term media is typically applied to advertising, for example, like a television, magazine, radio, mobile, and internet, that concept of media is relevant to all MARCOM tools. Last but not least, establish of momentum. Establish of momentum is marketing communication program also have or lack momentum. Simply developing an advertising message, creating a buzz, generating viral campaign, or releasing publicity is insufficient. The effectiveness of each of these message form require both a sufficient amount of effort and continuity of the effort. So here are the MARCOM outcomes. MARCOM outcome is enhancing brand equity and affecting behavior. So the program evaluations of a purpose of measuring marketing metrics is you need to track how responsive your intended audience was to different message, and what specific channel yielded the best result, and how your message performed over time should determine that direction of your next MARCOM plan. So the evaluation that you need to apply, which is you need to graphing or charting the result of your campaign and tracking specific metric for each ad place or link, and analyzing conversation and bounce rate. So consumer processing model CPM and hedonic experiential model HEM. So the definition of CPM is a behavior for consumer while making decision regarding purchasing of a product. So for HEM, it's based on their emotion while making choice, and for the decision of the CPM is a rational and systematic comparison and analysis to get the best product by analyzing and comparing the price of the product with competitors. And for HEM is based on feelings and experience, which does not involve rational decision, and thus decisions are taken irritation. So that's all from me on presentation on chapter 2. Thank you.